Last time, our journey left off with us saving Hans Capon.
It's Lord Capon! Get here, everybody! You, help him!
Learned how to shoot a bow. And rang a bell. Today, we start our adventure investigating a raid at Neuhof. I'm given my own horse, and her name is Pebbles. We set off together as an absolute unit to go investigate what some people would call atrocities that were committed at Neuhof last night.
Crucifix? What kind of beasts could do this?
By the blood of the martyrs.
But me, an intellectual, would simply refer to it as a good night out with the boys.
The pain in their eyes. They couldn't understand how anyone could do this to them.
After finding that the horse farm was attacked by bandits who had no interests other than bloodshed, I wanted to be useful and help with the investigation to find those horse sons.
What about me, Captain?
What the hell use are you? You stay here.
Please, let me do something. I could have a look around the area and see if they left any tracks.
Well, if you must. Just don't get in anyone's way, don't go too far, and come back here when you're done.
Joke's on him though, because this isn't my first rodeo, so I didn't listen to his rules and went off on my own, finding myself skulking about the nearby woods, potentially investigating and looking for tracks, but more than likely just embracing my inner desire to become a chipmunk. I hit this autosave and I heard voices, so I pulled out the bow just to be safe. I soon found where the voices were coming from. It's these two bandits and one appears to be hurt, so I draw back my bow in an attempt to take one out, and I actually hit the guy I was aiming at. I then drop my bow and get into a scuffle with the other bandit. After quickly sending him to the Shadow Realm by breaking his wrist through my raw strength, I looted the other bandit and find this hoof pick on him. Feeling the hoof pick is a little suspicious, I return to the stud farm to speak with Captain Bernard to see if he will finally be proud of me.
There were bandits here, 2 of them, right there to the north in the woods.
What? You saw them?
They attacked me and they're dead.
You killed them?
One of them. The other was already dying. He had this on him. It must be from the stud farm.
All right, ask the folk here about it. I'll take the men and scout the woods.
So now Bernard finds us useful. How fortunate.
Another useless soldier coming to ask questions. You should have fucking been here last night.
And listen, I could add to your misfortune.
I'm not a soldier. I'm one of the survivors from Skalitz.
Huh. I see, lad. Well then, what do you need to know?
Do you know anything about this hoof pick?
Yeah, it's Ginger's. He had it made in mate.
Jacob informs us that the hoof pick belongs to a soulless fellow named Ginger, that he likes to hang out with the charcoal burners in the direction of Uzhitz. After traveling a moderate distance, I ran into these bandits on the way and decided to hide and wait for nightfall. Once they were sleeping peacefully, I snuck up and put the sweet nectar we made in their food pot. Once that's done, I return to hiding and wait for morning. With the sun up, I go check on my new friends, and it appears they didn't really like my cooking. Anyways, I locate the runaway Ginger and I talk to him.
Jesus, you've led me a merry dance. What do you want from me? I want to ask you a couple of questions.
I convince him that everything is going to be right and he should head back to the stud farm. I also then return to the stud farm to catch up with Captain Bernard about the investigation. It's at this point in the story where we are sent to Uzhitz to continue our investigation, as Ginger recognized one of the bandits who said he was a guy named Lubosh, who walked with a limp and he lived in Uzhitz. It's important to know that before I continue the main story, I know that there's a hard fight coming up, so I take this time to head back to Rate to train and max some of my combat stats. I learned to do my first sword combo.
All right. You can learn lots of similar techniques with every weapon. Train and practice. You parry.
I then learned how to riposte, the strongest mechanic in the game. It's the easiest way to win a fight. Essentially, if your sword is positioned well and you perfectly time your block, you'll have a chance to fend off your blow from your attacker and attack them back all in the same move.
Not bad.
After that, I had a practice fight with Captain Bernard to gain some combat XP. I then decided to practice all these new combat skills during the tourney to gather as much XP as possible.
Who will measure his skills against? Henry of Skalitz from the company of Sir Runt Kubla. Let us wish the combatants luck.
Light work, baby. Time to collect my reward.
You did it in the end, Henry. No doubt you're well satisfied. And I'm sure you'll be happy with this prize.
I certainly am, my lord. Thank you, sir.
After winning the tourney, I went to the nearby inn to get some sleep and then repeated competing in the tourney for like the next 2 fucking hours until I was satisfied with my stats. Once I felt accomplished, I left Rate, only to find Black Peter, the sore loser from the first tourney, who wanted revenge for me taking his winnings. That bastard even poisoned his sword. Good thing I never let him hit me. I think it's time we wash ourselves of that filth. We go to sleep for the night and then head out the next morning on our journey to Uzhitz. God, this game is beautiful. I almost lost my life on this roof. And get taught how to read.
I'm at your service, sir.
I'd like to learn to read.
Sleeping at school, man, that's relatable.
Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit.
When you first learn how to read, this is what it looks like, by the way. After becoming an upper man of the page, we continue our investigation into this Lubosh fellow.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
If that's what you call nothing to see, I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh, or all that's left of him.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy.
I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
And he's murdered. Guess we'll need to go speak with someone else. Who might be able to tell us more? Ah, Father Godwin, the best NPC in the game.
I see you know how to wield a sword, Father. I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians? Worse than the murderer escaping punishment?
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Good luck to you.
I'll see you later then. Before our date with Godwin, I decided to beat this fool at dice.
That you should come to me.
What do you guys think this is? You think this man even had a small chance of beating me at dice? It was over before it even started.
Use your head, man. You'll lose everything.
Boom.
Sacra! I can't believe it.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh. I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovno. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Uzhitz, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous
Best
crime.
of health. Yeah, give me a minute.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Uzhitz isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough.
Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
for me.
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Pour me one.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
To nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesnej smutek, do dnie loi rano utek, niech już małżeński majstak, do wczera żylne staje prak. Už sejmoj svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě i kůži, nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední den. Půjďme se bávy a do rána slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem, tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu soudnej den, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Fight some. Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Then this happened.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you?
Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. What was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it?
Mass!
Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Awakened but hungover, we find ourselves in a position where we must help Godwin say Mass, and then he will finally help us.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pup.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God, and
Any minute now, he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hoc facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travellers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates. Away with them.
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honor to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that huss.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. But I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony. And fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out?
Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
With a new lead in hand, it's time to go find this Riki fellow from Ledechko. I talked to some of the peasantry in Ledechko and I found out that Riki is hiding somewhere in the woods to the north. After scouting around for like an hour, I finally found his hideout.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you have no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
After interrogating Riki, we were rudely disturbed by Runt's men.
Runt's people. We've got to get out of here.
They're too close. We'll never outrun them.
Fuck!
At least they don't know I'm here. The two of us can take them by surprise.
No fucking way. I'm gone.
Look here. If you run, they'll catch up with you and kill you. And me too. Together, we stand a better chance.
Jesus Christ. All right. I suppose you're right.
Making quick work of them, we formally arrest Ricky for his connection to the Neuhof raid.
Nothing bad. How many people were screaming at Neuhof?
I didn't kill no one, and I didn't
But you had a hand in it, and you wanted to rob them. You could have warned.
I'm no saint, but surely I don't deserve to hang.
I don't give a tinker's curse. You were there, you didn't warn anyone, and you helped those murderers, even if it was only for a while. You're
condemning me to death.
Maybe Sir Hanush will have mercy on you. You've had the devil's own luck so far.
After taking out the trash, it's time to go find Timmy, our final available lead connecting us to the raiders at Neuhof. We know from Riki that Timmy works at the nearby windmill. Unfortunately, he wasn't there, but his sister was. We talk to her and she says to meet her privately behind the windmill.
Here I am. So, why all the secrecy?
What do you want from Timmy?
Can you tell me where to find him?
Promise me nothing will happen to him.
Why do you care so much?
He's my brother. He's not very smart, you see, and he's always getting led astray by his no-good friends. And now there's some right peculiar characters looking for him.
Who are they?
I don't know, but they looked like cutthroats, and they said some strange things, but I didn't tell them anything.
That's good. But sooner or later they'll find him anyway. Tell me where he is, and I'll take care of him.
He's hiding at the Colburn farm, over by Merhoyed.
I get the feeling you're looking for someone here. I'm looking for someone too. Maybe we could help each other.
I don't think so.
No? Why not?
Because I don't much like the look of you. You or your cronies. And I don't like you breathing on me. I don't like the way you stink. So fuck off.
Well, well. Bold words for a whippersnapper like you. Come on then. Let's see what you're made of.
What
have
are
we
you
got
here?
here?
Enough, are you?
Entertainment!
Fuck Christ!
Runt's men are getting ballsy, thinking ganging up on me will be successful. With that taken care of, we go talk to Timmy and see where those bandits are hiding.
Hey, Timmy. How are you today?
I'm all right.
With our newfound information from Timmy, we locate the bandit camp, which happens to be in Sir Divish's old castle of Prybyslavitz. And I really like a challenge, so I do my scouting in broad daylight and sabotage their camp and reinforcements. And now we return to Radzig to update him on the situation.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
I'm back from scouting, sir.
Excellent. What have you found out?
There's an overgrown, ruined village in the woods where they're dug in.
That sounds like Prybyslavitz. It used to belong to Sir Divish before Havelmedic attacked and torched it, and then imprisoned Divish. It's been left abandoned ever since. I was hoping they wouldn't be so organized. Earthworks and fortifications. That's quite a different matter from routing some rabble out of the woods.
I tried to count them.
And how many of them are there? Bear in mind I'm relying on what you say. Every man that comes with us will be lacking somewhere else.
There's quite a few of them there.
Perdition. We'll definitely need reinforcements. I think the Talmberg men should suffice.
It's mostly bandits in the camp. They're not villagers with pitchforks.
No more than I expected. I have no fear of them, but underestimating the enemy can be fatal.
There aren't just bandits in the camp. There are Cumans too, quite a few of them.
Cumans, you say? Where the hell did they come from? Could Sigismund have left them there after he raised Skalitz? This is looking more and more serious.
I took a look at their arms and armour. They're not a proper army, but they're equipped quite well.
What about archers?
There's a few of them, and they're positioned well. If we charge them head on, they'll probably do us a lot of damage.
I don't like the sound of that. It complicates the situation. Dealing with them before the battle would be the best option.
They're up to something in the middle of the camp. It looked like they were making several long ladders.
Ladders? That sounds like they're planning a siege. I like this. On the other hand, we can use that to our advantage. If we can capture those ladders, we can use them to scale their own fortifications.
That's about all.
That's all right. Did you manage any sabotage while you...
I managed to destroy some of their arrow supplies, so they'll have less ammunition.
Well done. That's just what we need.
I managed to slip poison to a few of them. They should be too sick to fight.
You're as cunning as a fox. We need more like you.
That's all, sir.
Don't worry, Henry. You've proven yourself an excellent spy. I need you to go to Sir Divish in Talmberg and tell him to send Captain Robard and his men to our aid. There's not enough of us here in the camp.
You can rely on me, sir.
Tell him to take all his men. Leave only the bare minimum at the castle and march to Prybyslavitz.
All right, I'll get going.
And be quick. We've no time to... Goodbye.
And now we're off to Talmberg to get this party started.
Greetings. What do you need?
Sir Radzig sent me with an important message. He asked for reinforcements.
He needs more men? What's going on?
The bandits and Cumans have set up camp in Pribyslavitz. They're preparing for something. Sir Radzig wants to mount an assault on them, but he doesn't have enough men. Radzig.
I'm glad to see you, Captain Robard. I hope Henry's explained everything to you.
He did, but I find it hard to believe. Who could possibly put together such a significant military force, and right under our noses?
We'll just have to find out, but I don't think we will until after a battle. If we don't deal with them now, who knows what they'll be capable of in a week or two.
I agree entirely, my lord. What's the plan?
Right, lad. We're almost at the place you described. Now we'll have to advance cautiously. I need you to tell me how it looks around the camp, so I can decide which side to lead the attack from.
Sir, that's a big responsibility. I don't think I should...
I asked you a question, boy. You've been there and seen everything, so speak up.
There are 3 ways to get in. Directly along the straight path to the camp, the long way round through the woods and over an old weir, or by a narrow bridge over a deep ditch.
Let's start with the direct route. That sounds like the easiest approach. How does it look there?
That path leads round their battlements. It's fortified and patrolled. The chances are they'd shower us with arrows on the way.
It's a good thing you're here, Henry. We'll have to try another way then. What about the approach through the woods and the weir? I don't like the idea of marching such a long way over rough ground, but if it's the better option...
It's a long way through the woods, and there are patrols there as well. They'll call the alarm before we reach the camp.
I thought so. What about the last approach, over the bridge? It's a bit narrow for my liking.
It's narrow, all right, but once we get over, we can quickly occupy the best ground for a battle. We only have to take down a few archers.
The battleground sounds inviting, but that bridge and the archers, it's not an easy decision. Each option has its pros and cons.
Well, I try to answer to the best of my ability, sir.
And you'll be suitably rewarded for your efforts. From what you say, the route over the bridge is the best option. If we're fast, we'll have the advantage. With the help of God, we'll win this day. We'll approach from the south and storm them over the bridge. Form up. Forward march.
Go, go, go!
Let's go, boys. Let's cut them down.
Forward! Not another step! Together and bad! Not another step!
Stop where you are!
Stand your ground, you dogs! Drive them back!
I will cleave you in two, you bastard.
You tried before, and yet here I am.
What? Who the hell are you?
You don't remember me? I remember you, though. Oh, where's my fucking sword?
What the fuck are you on about? What's... Hang on. You're the... Fuck me. I thought we left you to the crows. Tough little fucker, eh?
What did you do with my sword?
Judging by our last encounter, I'd say you made a big mistake coming here.
Where's my fucking sword?
But then again, maybe you've had some practice. I hope so. Because last time was too easy.
Oh, that was a little anticlimactic. Might be a tad over leveled.
I'm bad for a peasant brat.
It's not over yet, you scum. Now where's my sword? What have you done with it? Talk, you bastard!
I'll see you in hell.
Tell me, do you hear me? Tell me what you've done with it!
I'd say you're flogging a dead horse there.
You took him down. On your own. Well done. Nice work. You surprised me. He was a mountain of a man.
He was the one who attacked Neuhof. And stole your sword, sir.
The thought did cross my mind. What did he tell you? If we'd taken him alive, the executioner might have gotten more out of him. Oh well, these things happen in the heat of battle. Anyway, we found a trunk full of coin down below. Someone was paying this gang very well. There were some of Sigismund's barbarians among them. I don't think we've seen the last of this. Whoever engineered it was highly placed. They won't give up after one defeat. This louse was just a pawn.
I'm afraid you're right, sir. Well, lad, we live to fight another day, eh? That's the fear leaving you, lad. Let it go. Now, put it all behind you. A decent Christian shouldn't dwell on such horrors.
I beg to differ, sir. I never want to forget this. The time has come for those whoresons to pay for what they did to us.
You're right, my boy. But first, we all need some rest. We'll meet later in the upper castle in Ratte, and then decide what to do next. But come what may, you did a good job today.
I will make you pay for this. It's time for the next part of our plan. Give the word.
Yes, sir.
Alright, that's going to be the end of this episode here, guys. Thanks to all of you who made it this far and for showing me support as I grow as a creator. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment with any tips on how I can improve further. Later on!